Okay, we are live, and it's another when Thursday. It's another
Yes,
Thursday, and this is your show.
right. In the past, eh?
Well, whatever. Okay,
Praise is still in the past. Today.
well,
Today is Thursday.
don't mind that. No, it's so good to be here once again. Thank you, all of you who join us every now and then. I can see people joining us on social media already, especially Instagram,
Yeah.
and those of you joining on Facebook and YouTube. Thank you, everyone. We really, really love you, and I want to say thank you so much for joining your show. It's over a month since we started,
Yes.
and it's looking good. I'm so excited,
Yes.
and one of the things I've learned, running this show and starting this show is the fact that nothing gets done until you get started.
That's
You
it.
know, that if you don't, so like someone said, you don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great.
Do it
You know,
scared.
yeah,
Do it
that's
afraid.
people. And I was meditating, and there was a release of the highest earner on YouTube.
Mm.
In every country. Guess who won the one for Nigeria, the highest earner on YouTube?
I don't know.
Mark Angel. That's Emanuela.
Oh
Now,
wow.
if you look at every principle of production, those guys violated it.
Wow.
No excellence, nothing. The only test they passed is test of
It's
content.
content.
Whether spoken English, but they are the highest earner on YouTube.
Wow.
I think what they earn is running into about 30 million monthly.
Wow.
Kind of. Yeah. So someone will be saying, "Oh no, let's not do it yet. Let's get
Let's
it
get it
perfect.
ready."
Let's get it ready."
Mm.
And a lot of people never get anything done.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to make it perfect. Either observe the wind will not sow. So it's a critical lesson to say, just do it afraid. God, like Nike will say,
Do it.
do it, just do it, just do
Yes.
it. So we are live on the show, and then we're.
Can you tell people what your name is? Just
I'm sorry.
introduce yourself.
I'm sorry. I'm just getting into this broadcasting thing. These are the veterans. They were born to it.
Yes.
I was born into it.
Yes.
Into my
Pastorship.
pastor. Whichever way you're born into something. Yeah, my name is Praise for and I'm so excited to be here today.
And my name is Adiola Kingsley James, and I'm excited as well today.
Okay, this is
our third partner is unavailable today.
Yeah.
However, she's with us in spirit.
Yeah,
and
we hope she can join us at some point.
Yes, hopefully.
Yeah. Okay. So we've been looking at taking your power back.
Yes, and last week we gave an assignment for people to. One of the steps is to find your happy.
Yeah.
And happy stood for heart, ability, personality, passion and yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if anybody did their homework or did their assignment.
I did my homework.
So please, can you share with us?
My age.
Yes.
What does my heart tells me I'm the best at? My heart tells me that I'm a school of thought in family life space, that I'm the world's biggest family life brand. That's H. My natural ability is processing and creating content, especially intellectual property. My personality is we call it creative Oma. So which memes I'm about
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's why we never fight.
I know.
Okay, so I'm a creative Omar. My passion is family. I mean, just lock me up in a therapy room with families. I forget food. I don't remember anything. And yesterday, I was a victim of child sexual abuse. I didn't like the fact that growing up, my father had the old say, women never had a say. And I wanted to correct that, so it ties up to everything I do.
Cool. So I'm going to give that a go as well.
Yeah.
So my heart, what resonates with me is being able to help people and, should I say, bring people out of things that hurt them. So I don't want to call myself a savior, but I'm close to that.
That's what is called savior syndrome.
I know, and that's why I didn't say I wanted to call so that's why I said I don't want to call myself a savior, but I get a lot of joy from making people smile, right? My ability is to be able to create content. My ability is also to be able to come up with ideas. I'm very quick at coming up with ideas or fleshing your ideas out for you and turning it around. My personality is, I'm really easy. I'm also a creative hummer. For those who don't know, you can ask us in private what that means, and then
Yeah.
we'll run an analysis on you for you to find out. And so my space is the creative space. My passion, I think my passion has changed in the years. So now my passion is to help families as well, and also teach people how to get their power back, because it took me maybe about 10 months to be able to do it and actively do it. This time last year, I was in such disarray. I'm not sure I had anything to live for. And just 1 year after, my life has completely changed.
Wow.
And so I'm a story to tell, and I'm a story, and I want to tell my story. And then my yesterday, I've had a mixture of my yesterdays. However, I think that my yesterday showed me a lot of pain and some self-sabotaging tendencies, because I also didn't feel like I was loved. Growing up, I was a middle child. I wasn't the first, I was not the only boy, and I was not the last born. So for me, I felt I was nobody's favorite. And I told that story to myself all the time. And so rather than I obviously didn't have any other thing to say to myself but that. And I lived with that story for so long, up until maybe about 3 months ago.
Wow.
And so my yesterday was that, but without my yesterday, I would not be here today.
Sure.
So my yesterday has strengthened me for my today and gotten me ready for my today. So I bless it and I'm grateful for it.
Fantastic. Good. So you did well.
Thank
you
you.
can do yours. Where H stands for your heart. What makes you happy? What are you most? What are you up? What pumps your energy when you remember it? When you see other people do, you can criticize them and you believe you do that better. A is your ability. If you don't have to go to school, take away your certificate. What would you have done with your life? What do you do naturally that comes easy with you? P is your personality. Are you an introvert, extrovert? What personality are you? The other P is your passion. What are you passionate about? What do you do that you don't remember food? You don't remember time? And yesterday, why is yesterday? What happened in your past that you don't want us to go through? So that's what makes you happy. If you can find it, what makes you happy, then you have found your life and you can take your power back.
And that's your ikigai, right?
Yeah, that's your ikigai.
You see, I've been studying.
I've been studying. You're a good student. You're a good student.
I've been studying. So we have a couple of things that we're going to go through. And it's still all around getting your power back and empowering you to be able to stand up tall. And so one of the things we're going to talk about is what power resides in you. So do you want to go for it and share with us what power resides in us?
Everyone has got a power within them, but not everyone will realize their power, because we were all socialized to doubt our power, elevate someone else's power, and make us feed off that person for the rest of our life. So because the fear is, so there are the powers, there are the leaders, there are the followers. Now the trick is, I need to confuse you, then position myself as your solution. Right. But what I will not define is how long.
Right.
So in the quadrant of life, or in the steps of life, right, there is the first step is domestication.
Right.
Domestication is the world around us. At the level of domestication, you live by rules and regulation of other people, right? At that level, whatever they tell you, you don't even question anything. You just do it.
Yeah.
They tell you, oh, you need to wake up in the morning to pray to God. You do it. You don't ask why. What stops me from praying midday? Nobody's asking any question. You can't ask any question, right? Then when you now move from domestication, you move to awareness. Now, let me say that 80% of the people on this planet will remain on domestication for the rest of their life.
Wow.
Because they fail to realize the power within them. Right. 80%. Now, a few people will now move to awareness. At level of awareness, that's the world to choose. At that level, you begin to set your goal. To say, I was born in Oshin, Olosha, or I was born somewhere, but this is not my destination. I'm going to move to Miami, Florida. Right. You set the goal. The problem is, if you have your leader is at the level of awareness, you used to be at domestication. The moment you begin to set the goals your leader began to set, because a lot of the people at that level are insecure, they begin to put you back and begin to tell you, that you are becoming proud.
Right.
Now, when people say you are proud, it doesn't necessarily mean you are proud.
Yeah.
It just
Anymore.
means that they can't control you anymore,
Right.
or you have transited their mediocrity to excellence, and your excellence is tormenting their mediocrity.
Oh, they can see their weaknesses.
They can see, yes.
Wow.
Right. So and I mean, when you you can't defer to them anymore,
right.
It becomes a problem.
Right.
Now, so at that level, you begin to set your goals. Now, a lot of people set goals, but they are bullied by the people that place as authority figures over their life because they have what we call endorsement syndrome. They always need someone to endorse what they want to do. But you see, you don't need that. You need to give yourself a chance because, like we said last week, you are Shakosha. You just go there and say, I am Shakosha.
I remember that Shakosha.
You just have to believe yourself. I mean, with everything people are saying about Donald, someone said today that Donald Trump will go to his grave believing that he still won the election. Irrespective of what you guys say.
That's what he has told himself.
What a strange human being.
Yes.
That's why I said to people that your beliefs is not the truth. Your belief is what you have held to be true.
Right.
And what you have held to be true is peculiar to you. So that if the whole world believes it's not true, you can believe it's true and it will work for you because you produce the material equivalence in your life at every point in time.
Right.
Now, you move today from that level to the third level, which not many people get to.
Mm-hmm.
The third level, right, is the level of recreation.
Okay.
That's the world that's the world you can create. Now, at that level, you now begin to you live from within to without.
Right.
So you now see things within you, you create it. Say, this is the company I see, I create it.
Right.
This is the me I see, I create it. Right? So whatever you see, a lot of people live from outside to within, and that's why they're never happy.
Yes.
But you can never be happy living from outside to within. Your job at the level of recreation is to create the heaven within you, set that heaven within you, protect that heaven against all odds. Right. Once you do that, and you are consistently aware of that heaven within you, it invalidates the hell without you. At that level, it's no longer what people say. Let the whole world gather and say you're hungry. You're free. And the final level is the level called freedom.
Aha.
At the level of freedom, you are now Divine's Power Project Manager. At that level, you take on projects that people can only dream of in a lifetime. That's where the Bill Gates are, right? To say, hey, let's solve this problem. Let's go to Africa. Let's go to Nigeria.
Let's conquer the world.
That's the level there, right? And maybe less than 1% gets to that level.
Yes.
So you need to understand that when you doubt your personal power, you doubt your life. Because there's a word called lifestyle, which we use carelessly.
Yes.
Lifestyle is a combination of two words, life and style.
Yeah.
That your life is what must determine the style you adopt.
Absolutely.
But the style you adopt must deliver your life. Now, when you don't know your life, you don't know the style to adopt. So a lot of people because somebody says this is the way to live. Step 1, step 2. Your style may not be that.
Absolutely.
Right? So when you become the outlier, people look at you one kind and they say you can't.
What's doing this one?
The person we call Jesus was a rule breaker. He was an outlier.
Completely.
He didn't fit in. They call him Beelzebub. They call him all kinds of names. Right? But we want to be normal. So we are socialized to doubt our power because the moment you feel powerful, you are able to question what doesn't make sense. You are able to live your life, with you are not bound by the rules that hold people bound. In their you can wake up and say, hey, I mean, you have direct access to God, as it were. So no matter how much and you can question things, say, what this man has said, it has not come to pass. Why are you still following? You can do all those things, but you have conquered fear, because fear is what keeps people bound.
Absolutely.
And you don't know that what you tell yourself is what becomes your reality.
And before I used to say, it sounded like a curse. But now I say to people that whatever you think you are is who you are.
As you think in your heart, so are you.
As if even the Bible says so.
It's that.
So that then means that the question you then need to ask yourself is, what are you thinking?
Yeah. I mean, I literally changed my life.
What are you thinking?
Following this. So it's not, I read it in a book because I used to live in Ajebule. I used to know what I used to be like. I used to be very timid. I could not face anybody to say anything. I mean, I couldn't speak proper English at the age of 12. You know, that I was in this Lagos. I came for a holiday, and I was living with a family friend, and we went for a lesson. I couldn't find the right word to tell the lesson teacher that it was time to go home.
Oh wow.
I couldn't. I have terrible low self-esteem, and so I understand when people say, oh, they have those. I can feel, but I flipped it around. I
can do it.
You can. So a lot of, many of the people that you have put your life in their hands, they are also afraid.
Absolutely.
Because someone said to me many years ago, there are lots of Africans who think that there's one man somewhere who is keeping them alive, and someone says nobody is going to get out of life alive.
Of course.
So why are you?
The only sure thing about life is
death. So why are you afraid?
Sure
thinking that is one thing you are doing. Go to Okinawa. Okinawa, you are guaranteed to live to 85. Then without anything,
no more.
You don't need to pray. You don't need to do anything.
You just
by being born in Okinawa, you will live, right? So people need to understand the biggest thing is, and I think that's the biggest disadvantage we have in Africa. The capacity to observe has been taken away from us. Because if you can observe, you can see. But people can't observe. We're always in a hurry.
Exactly.
We can't see, and because we have taken on religion and we have become experts at it more than the people that brought it. That even when those people have now
even
changed,
Jesus,
and they have
ask you who taught you this
even
word?
Jesus is literally sitting down and wondering, this is revelation.
He was
So
where did you get in what part of the Bible again is this it?
So a lot of people are afraid, and the moment you don't recognize the power, because people will mess your power up. They will tell you, you don't have grace. Now, the word grace is the word charis. That's where you find charisma. The word charis is the same word as talent. But religious people will tell you your talent is not grace.
It's something that is bestowed
upon you.
God.
They'll say it's natural ability. Did you do anything to get your talent?
No.
You didn't do anything.
It's natural.
It's natural with you. There is no amount of training and I pray that will make me Lionel Messi or Maradona. I don't have it.
If you start from young,
whether I'm starting from young, I cannot. It's what you contain that you can. I don't have it. Right? So you find out that people are messed up with the teachings they've listened to. So this person contradicts this person. At the end of the day, I'm more confused.
You are more confused.
Now, at that point, instead of them to step aside to say, you know what, let me find my journey, the ability to step aside becomes the problem.
Because of all the fears.
Yes. And at the root of all these things is fear.
Yeah.
Right? So fear.
It's also still fear. I was going to say I'm being alone.
It's fear.
That's also a fear.
Fear strips you of your natural ability. It makes you doubt what you have. And what people get is, every man you believe in, you trust in, at some point in time, they came out to say, this is what I can do. You were not there. But
they even apologize.
Now you believe them more than yourself.
Yeah.
Right? And I tweeted something yesterday. I said, you will never become an authority on what you do part-time. You will never.
It has to be constant.
So the same people now tell you that, what that thing you are doing is your secular, this, da, 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 da. So you see a lot of people who now believe in someone else's pursuit much more than their pursuit. Meanwhile, we're supposed, if someone shines, every other person is supposed to find their light within that light.
No.
Because a candle loses nothing by lighting other candles.
No.
But what we do is we dim our other people's light, because our bigness must be dependent on their smallness. And that is the problem in Africa. And that's why we have an adage that says an elephant must not blow at the same time with the sun. And the question a right-thinking person will ask is, why can't father elephant blow treble, son elephant blow alto, the other one blow treble? They can blow together.
And soprano.
Plenty parts. So these are the issues that an average person listening to us has not found their power. And once you don't find your power, you are hidden. Your confidence can't be total. You can't even feature in anywhere, right? You will be at the mercy of others for the rest of your life. You will live life afraid till someone is saying something, or the crab family, crab mentality. You're correct. So you will live very small. And the big problem is this. Because your smallness, is still bigger than some other people's smallness. You will now convince yourself that
you're doing well.
So you hear things like, I am not where I want to be, but I'm not where I used to be.
Oh, I used to say
so
that.
You create a
I
narrative
used to say
that makes you feel comfortable. Because you now look at other people and say, after all, I am better. You are not competing with anyone but yourself. Someone said that success is what you have achieved compared to what you could have achieved.
Absolutely.
Right? So it's you versus you.
Yes.
Not you versus anyone else. Yes. So a lot of people compare themselves with other people, so they feel, after all, I'm better. I'm better. And the question people need to begin to ask is this. Because someone said today, praise, how can you mention Bill Gates and those two people, they are going to hell? And I say, wait a minute. You say they are going to hell, so you believe in God, right? So I said,
they are going to heaven.
I said, can we apply the common sense here? You say it's using the power of the devil, but the power of the devil has made them the richest, the most influential in the world.
And they're helping.
And the power of God that you say you have,
what has it done?
Has made you very small. Then, as a rational thinking person, I better abandon this your power and pursue this power.
Follow their own power.
I said, but you are mistaken, because God is not a waster of resources. For him to have committed, he knows. And if you
this person has the capacity.
If you plot it, it's very simple. And the root of what many of them, even though they have excesses, is love. Because love says, through you, all the families of the earth will be blessed. I will not discriminate whether you are gay, you are straight, whether you are right, you are black, whether you are Republican. I will be like God and send rain on everyone. So to have that mentality, if you don't have that mindset, heavens cannot give you any resource. It cannot commit anything to your hand.
You're scaring me.
But that's what it is.
And you're scaring me because not because of me, because I have found my power, right? But the question is, how do people then find their power?
It's
for me, I think everything had to almost be taken away from me for me to be able to sit back and say, you know what, now I have to. The only thing that was working for me was my job, and then that also was taken away from me. And I'm like, okay, so now it's finished.
But that's the only way. You
finished. Everything was gone. And I thought to myself, now you have to take, and I don't care where help is coming from.
Let's describe
I know that I want help.
Yola, let me describe it for you this way. This is a container, a bottle of water. So let's assume I empty this bottle and I pour a little bit of oil, palm oil, then granite oil and kerosene, right? And I now add water to it. What will this be?
Probably the bottle will burst.
Exactly. So the first thing I need to do to still turn this to something that you can drink is to first empty it.
Ooh.
And that supports what Jesus actually said, that you can't put a new wine in an old wine skin. It's going to burst.
Yes.
That was what happened to me. I got to a point, I became very confused. I had to get into my room, lock myself up, and I say, God, I'm tired. I'm tired of everything they've taught me.
Literally.
I dumped every note, and I say, you know what? I want to find my path.
Just you.
By myself.
Yes.
And so I stripped myself of everything, and I started afresh. Wow. And by the time I started afresh, it was as if I didn't know anything.
Yes.
So I was wondering, so what have they been teaching me all this while? How come I never saw this? How come I never saw it?
I will read the Bible now and I get a different revelation, and I'm like, wow.
Then I open myself to other teachers.
Yeah.
Right? Right now I say to people that God, your Father, is not limited by any religion.
At all.
He can speak through the mind of anybody.
Even through a dog.
Yes. So my intelligence went to an all-time high. And I realized in no time, mosques started inviting me to come and speak. Churches started inviting me to come and speak. Atheists started inviting me to come and speak. I just realized that every time I have to create anything right now, it's for the whole world.
For everybody.
It's for the whole world.
Yes.
So it takes a lot of confidence and guts to achieve that in Africa.
Yes.
Because if I look at where I'm coming from and where I am, so if you are listening to us and you think it's hard, I have been there. I stood on campus and I preached that ladies who were wearing weave were going to hellfire.
There you
that
go.
Ladies who wore trousers were going to hell. I taught it. I taught it confidently.
Are you Are you ashamed of yourself?
I'm so I was serious, but serious.
But you shouldn't be
That was where I
ashamed.
was
Yes,
at
that's
that
the
point.
knowledge you
I
had.
laid hands on the generator that was 9-year-old,
That you must
and
start.
I said it was a demon. I literally was manifesting mental health problem. I didn't know. You know,
No. That's faith.
that
That's
was
faith
it. That was
to
it.
some people.
Faith is not
That's
stupidity. Because the day we now gathered money to buy a new gen,
The devil left.
It didn't break. You know, so I look at people right now, and I'm filled with compassion to say, who will deliver this one?
Yes.
You know, because a lot of people are worse than where they were before they joined some groups or belong to certain things.
You know what I actually think? I don't think people really want a solution to their problems. I think people, I think, because if you say to them, okay, this
You guys are laughing at me.
this
It's not
could be
fair.
the solution, right? It's either this or this. They're not willing to take either of it. They're looking for people that will just support them to say it's true, he's bad, she's bad.
You
are wicked.
You can't
they are
blame.
wicked.
You can't blame them. Like we said when we started, we were not built to be independent minded. You are built. See the way we're socialized.
Right.
We went to school. They gave us uniform.
Yes.
So you were
And you
built.
must wear it every
You
day.
were built to be uniform,
Yes.
not built to stand out.
Yes.
So when teacher came to class, somebody eat the good morning, sir. You are welcome to the class. God bless you. Then you sit down. So it was uniformity, conformity,
and also repetition.
Yeah, and if you did that all your life, I mean, your destiny is already sealed. And the education system is not something that can promote thinking.
No.
You know, because the fear of the teacher's came is the beginning. You couldn't even question the teacher.
Yeah.
Right? So it's very tough. So people's destiny have been sealed.
Oof.
We need to understand that. And trust me, even every attempt to liberate them, you are the enemy.
I was going to say it's you.
You're going to become the enemy.
It's you that is
how
the
can
problem.
someone say that 5G is what the Antichrist is going to use, and a group of people believe? And you try to educate them to say this is not correct.
It's you, they are
and they're attacking you.
Yeah.
So at that point, you realize that you also used to be there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you are filled with compassion.
Yeah.
Because it's not. So when we talk about people taking their power back, you know, it's not a piece. It's literally breaking yourself free from what has fed you. Shackles that, you know, it's almost like in NLP we call it hypnosis. People have been hypnotized. The sad thing is, the people even hypnotize them are not even aware that they're hypnotizing people because they are trying their best, to set people free. So you tell people, you know, the freedom to your problem is, you know,
drink this water
or 50 days of fast or dance somewhere, you know, and there is nothing wrong with that. But I will ask you, if I do this, will this problem go?
And have you done it?
Because if I do it and the problem will not go, then I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
Right? So, but a lot of people also, because you say that the conditioning is huge, because you have been also conditioned to suspect people who are producing genuine results, but they are not doing what you are used to.
Break that down in English.
So, you are a Christian, I'm a Muslim, and we have another lady who, let's even say the two of us are Christians. We pray a lot, we fast a lot, but we are poor. Then we see another guy who doesn't pray, who doesn't fast like us, but is very wealthy. He's getting all the deal. We have been conditioned to believe
that what they're doing is not good.
That is demonic. So instead of us to humble ourselves to say, what is it doing?
Teach me.
What can we learn?
Right.
And surrender ourselves. So you hear things like, you know, after all, at the end of the day, we'll still go to hellfire.
Exactly. Or really, at the end of the day,
not knowing that the energy of life is that when you desire something, God makes it happen around you to test your reaction. Right?
That's powerful.
Yeah, that's what it is. So it brings it to near you to happen to someone that you don't think deserves it, to test your reaction. So if you look at the person and say, wow, I am so glad for you, I'm so happy for you, you magnetize the same order into your life.
Right.
But when you look down on the person, because whatever you despise moves away from you.
Absolutely.
Whatever you respect, you attract. So a lot of us will load successful people. We talk them down, we have no respect for them, and that's why we don't replicate their success. So we need to get to the point where you now begin to look at yourself and say, what exactly do I want? That
Okay, so we can
if
start
I
from there. What do I
continue
want?
what I am doing right now and I change nothing, where will I end?
Wow.
Let me shock you. You will end where you are now.
See, I think, I said this to somebody today. I said, look, if you sit down and just keep getting ready to get ready to get ready to get ready to get ready, 5 years will pass you by and you are in the same
spot.
Same spot.
You are down,
and you say to yourself, okay, I'm going to start getting ready again.
it's called running.
And you'll be there 15 years.
It's motion without movement.
Because we're used to, when people say, I'm busy. What are you actually busy doing?
It's activity. Activity is.
What are you actually busy? Because some people are busy doing absolutely nothing.
They are doing something. They are. There's a dance step called Running Man.
But you're not going anywhere in the running. You are running in one space.
It's sweating, but it's not. It's not moving.
And so I say to people, stillness.
Yeah.
Stillness, and because we're also not wired.
The stillness you mentioned, you just mentioned stillness like that.
I know, right?
How many people
because one day I said to somebody, I said, God may speak to you when you're busy, but you don't hear him.
Yeah.
You can't hear him because you're too busy. But when you're still, you can hear God.
Yeah.
And you will know, and you can, or he will drop an idea in your spirit, or you will read something, and you'll be like, oh, this is for me.
How many can quiet their mind? It's tough. Trust me, it's tough to focus your mind for 5 minutes without drifting is a lot of work.
Yes, but it's practice. It's also practice. You start with 30 seconds.
You were not there when we were having a yoga session on
Saturday.
On Saturday,
yes.
And the yoga instructor had to first teach us that yoga actually means connectedness and congruent. Right. That is a word. It's an Indian word. Because when somebody hear yoga, they think,
Yeah, I used to think it was demonic. They taught me.
So those are the things that
meditation was. Demonic.
Meditation is demonic because it's not
demonic.
our culture.
It's not our culture.
So it's a lot of. And please, if you are listening to us, you gotta take your power.
Yeah.
Your power resides in you. The gift and the calling is without repentance. It resides in you.
Completely.
You just have to believe in it more than anyone.
Yeah.
I mean, because a lot of us feel that someone else should believe in you more than you.
No,
it's not gonna happen.
No,
you have to believe in you more than you. I believe in me more than my wife would say to people that she will tell them my story, and she'll say to them that when my husband started talking this family life industry in Nigeria, said I even used to laugh at him that young man, nobody's going to buy this thing from you. He said, but I would say to her that, sweetheart, if nobody buys in 7 years, I'll go back to paid employment. So she calls me incurable optimist. That this guy never gives up because I am not moved by what people say. I'm moved by what I can see. Absolutely. I have seen the end, and because nobody understands your pregnancy like you.
God doesn't even give your vision to someone else.
Yeah, nobody understands your pregnancy.
They can't see it like
you. Yes. So you need to. And people believe that when their mentor or the authority figure over their lives says no, then it's no. It's not true.
No, it's not true.
And I'll give you an example. I worked somewhere, and it was time to leave. And my leader was a religious person, and I told him, and he said, no, how can God tell you to leave? And he was incidentally teaching us how to hear from God. Now I heard from God.
He's saying no, it's not God.
So because I wanted to please him, I didn't want to go anymore. Then I started meditating, and I'll tell you what I heard exactly. What I had in my mind was, if Jesus had a pastor or a mentor, and he went to meet his mentor for advice, and he says, I'm going to die, I want to go to the cross to die, will there be any counselor who will tell him to go?
Never.
If Moses had the mentor, and he was overlooking the Red Sea, and he went to seek counsel and say,
I'm going to pass
I enter this Red Sea. Nobody. So you are responsible for whatever you hear.
Absolutely.
And I always tell people, I would rather make a mistake on what is my decision than make a mistake on what is someone else's decision.
Yeah,
because at the end of your life, I tell people, in fact, there's a prayer I prayed for my mentees right now. I said, may you not become the front end of a back end that you don't understand.
Break that down into English.
So, I tell you that, Diola, we are going to transform Nigeria. We believe in Nigeria. I tell you that you are excited about it. We are going to transform Nigeria.
Let's go.
Let's transform Nigeria. Let's transform Nigeria. But you don't know that my agitation is for government to note me and invite
give
me
you
and
something.
give me a position.
Me
Right?
and me, I'm
You are
transforming
following
Nigeria.
and transforming Nigeria.
Hey.
So you know the front, you are a front end,
but
you
I
don't
don't
know the back end.
right?
Yeah. And that's the way people,
So that's clear
a
now.
lot of people are the front end of the
Not
back end they don't
knowing-
understand.
yeah,
The
yeah.
back end that they don't understand, for some back end is business, but they don't know.
Ooh.
And that's why
And a
when
lot
people
of
now
us are in that
finally
space,
discover they are damaged beyond recognition, they ate God.
They have spent so much time.
They ate when you mention God beside them, they
don't want to hear.
they don't want to hear because they've been bombed badly. They are looking at the number of lives years they've wasted, and they don't even believe they can capture it anymore because the best part of their youth is gone.
Yeah.
Right? So that's why I always tell people when someone says, let's us do, I say, what is the back end? Can we see the back?
Let's know what is covered.
Yeah, we need to know the covered. Because you can't be saying it's over, you are telling me. Right?
Let's go deeper.
Yeah, and it's the same strength that is used everywhere for advertisement, for any network marketing. They'll tell you what will resonate with your selfishness, but you don't know the back end. So it's important for everyone to understand that you have a power. And one of the if you follow the happy model, you'll find your power. So now say what makes you, and you need to be truthful to yourself. Nobody can do this one for you.
Yeah.
Nobody can do it for you.
Nobody.
Because the moment you now discover your power, that is just the beginning. Because a lot of us are excited about power that we forget that power has responsibility.
Oof.
There's a
and the consistency
consistency
and the commitment to
it's I mean you can't
it's non-negotiable.
Yeah.
Non-negotiable. Okay, let me just stop
we
small
love
now.
we love
It's constant, back to back to back, because repetition makes you a master.
it's a matter of skill. You know our people we love to rest and sleep, and that was why when
Netflix has now come to finish it for
when
people.
Robert Kiyosaki came with Retire Rich, Retire Young, the only continent where that thing sold out was Africa.
Because we like magic.
We ate to work.
We like magic.
So the moment
microwave.
But Robert Kiyosaki is still working.
And he will work till he dies.
Till he dies.
Because they actually don't retire.
They can't.
If there's something in you, you don't retire. You keep giving of yourself.
You have to.
You may then say, okay, I may stop working in this particular space.
Yeah.
But I'm going to keep dishing out, knowledge, information. I can come out and at least share of myself with you.
It's powerful, what we're discussing, and I hope that people listening to us can understand it, because when you find your power, life becomes intentional. Power, life is experimental.
Look, if I tell you things that I'm even up to, you'll be like, even me, I wake up every morning saying, how am I going to blow my mind out today?
Yeah.
Like today, something great has to happen for me, and I'm blowing my own mind. I'm not even concerned about anybody else. I don't care what anybody is doing. How am I going to blow my own mind out today?
It's powerful. People have to. I wish everyone can find their power. Trust me. And I wish that mentors can be truthful with the mentees to realize that your mentee does not have to be a clone, and it doesn't have to be a slave. That you need to get to a point where you can release them and say,
but that's also because the mentor also needs help.
Yeah,
the mentor needs
insecurity everywhere. And
the mentor is also dealing with certain things of from childhood, and it's so important, guys, that we're able to go back to our past, and it's not to say you want to relive the past, but you need to understand it enough to be able to say, okay, you don't serve me anymore, or you serve me and I'm going to keep doing it.
Yeah.
I think for me, that's even one of the places to start. Even if, yes, you may not start from there because that awareness will not immediately come. But you will get to the point where you say, okay, I've gotten to this point, I still need to do more work. And for me to do more work, I need to be able to debunk this aspect of my life.
And learn to embrace your shame. You are not the one who have committed the worst of all sin, because people have also been taught.
Be the last.
People have been taught that when they do certain things, God cannot use them at the highest level. It's not correct.
It's like imagining your real father. You ask him for bread. Will he give you stones?
I mean, so people have been taught all kinds. So a lot of people are weighed down by the mistakes they have made. I have made too many stupid mistakes, and I'm still going to make another one tomorrow, most likely. But every day I wake up and I stand up, It's another
It's
opportunity.
another day.
You know, so
It's another day.
you need to snap out of the burden
Of
because
guilt.
you need to. I mean, it's the easiest, the best way I describe it is, you know, if you check the airplane, when the airplane, for every time the airplane tries to move forward, there's a force called the drag. Drag seeks to hold it bound, right? But it had to defeat the drag for it to move.
Right.
So drag will represent regrets, pains,
What will people say?
relationships, you know, your mistakes, your errors. You have to overcome, defy your drag to move. Then every time the plane tries to lift, there is the weight, the grab that seeks to hold it down. So the weight
Fights through
will be belief system, conviction that has not served you, and all kinds of things that has messed you up. You need to empty yourself of those things for you to be able to fly, right? And you see the shamelessness of the crowd, because I tell you, the crowd is never consistent.
They're not.
When they're not. The easiest way to see, look
at social media. Go on social media. Today, everybody is loving you. Just do one little thing. Everybody's coming against you. You're an idiot. You're a fool.
That's
you're
the crowd.
This, you're that. That's
when you
crowd.
play well, they say, hey. When you play badly,
you are stupid.
So the crowd is never consistent. So if you depend on the applause, because I see a lot of people, I ask them, why are you no longer posting on social media? I will post now, nobody will comment. Say nobody needs to comment. Just keep it. No, and what makes you think that those that have the highest comments
are the people that they like the most?
Who is commenting on what Dagote is posting?
Is he posting?
I have not seen him on social media.
I was gonna maybe
because we think that clicks is the same thing as money. It's not the same, right? The highest paid coaches that I know are not even on social media. So people need to understand these things, right? To say, do what you want to do.
Do you?
You know, do you? If you make a mistake, it's better.
It's okay
for you to her on the side, but while being yourself.
It's okay
down to be
make
someone
mistakes.
else, right?
It's okay to make mistakes. The problem is actually,
yeah,
that's where the real sin is. Not trying, but trying and failing is fine, and it's not even failing. It's a lesson learned.
It's
not failing.
It's feedback, actually.
Yes, and exactly feedback. So really, what are you afraid of? There's nothing to be afraid of. You tried, it doesn't work. Oh, okay, what could I have done differently? Do I need to ditch this, or is there anything I can do to add to it, or do I package it in a different way and run with it?
Absolutely.
So there's nothing. I mean, the other thing we then were leveraging. So we're obviously not going to finish all these things that we.
Yeah, but we can
talk about leveraging people and resources.
Well, leveraging people and resources. When it comes to people, people are your greatest resource.
Yep.
So I love that scripture that says, when there is no vision, the people perish. But I also say that where there are no people, the vision will perish.
Of course, because who is going to carry out the vision?
But people can make or mar you. So what I've done is I always talk about the three quadrants of people. To be skillful about the entries and the exits in your life.
Right.
As a matter of fact, create your own immigration system.
Right.
Because there are three levels: the outer court, the inner court, and the holies of holies.
Holies of holies.
The outer court are acquaintances. You don't tell them deep things.
The outer court, the
outer court.
Yes.
They're acquaintances, people you are just meeting, shallow relationship.
Anything you can say in the marketplace.
Yeah, you say to them, because whatever you say to them,
it's fine.
Then the inner court are people who have made investment in you,
right,
at certain level,
right.
So those people, if they have bought anything from you, or you have done something together, those are your inner court,
right.
But the holies of holies is brotherhood. The people in your holies of holies are not usually many. They care so much about you, and they are so mature that even when they fall out with you, there are things they will not say.
They will never.
Right?
Even with a gun
to their head, they will never. Right? Take people they
make their holies of holies.
Yeah.
Their outer courts.
They will now
and then the other way around.
Say some people who got married and they went to divorce. You got to divorce, and you came on social media to say my husband was a 1 minute man. Or he's an idiot.
Beating me.
You don't. that shows that you guys were not
Holies of
holies of holies,
Yeah.
right? So it's important for you to guard relationships, and you also need to understand that at those three levels, there is what we call the super synergy, the sub synergy, and the peer synergy. Now, super synergy are people that you look up to.
Right.
Peer synergy are people. Sorry, my phone is ringing. Are people at your level? Then the sub synergy are the people who are looking up to you. Now, how to treat them?
Yeah.
Even within those spaces, there are still like 8 lines.
Yeah.
In the 8 lines, you have what's this called now? The upline, who is your sorry, my phone is ringing. I'm expecting a delivery. The upline is your boss. The downline is your subordinate. The peer line are your colleagues. The outline are the competitors. The real line is the customer. The landline are the policies and the rules governing where you operate. Then there's the inline, which is your relationship with yourself.
Right.
Then the outline, which is your relationship with God.
Right.
Now those are 8 lines.
Or whoever you're
with
believing.
each of them having rules of engagement.
Woo. I think this hotline and outline and inline and upline and downline is going to be for another day.
No, you can't even. You don't even want to go. Let's just mention it for mentioning it.
Right.
Yeah, because you see, with your upline there are rules.
Yeah.
And
I think there are rules generally in anything in life.
because when you don't know the rules of engagement
then
with
you
people,
can't. Yeah.
you're gonna mess up.
Yeah.
I'll give an example. Dr. Miles Moreau was coming to Nigeria, and I really wanted him to mentor me. And the first thing I did was to go online, and I went to check him out, and I realized, oh, okay, it's not just a motivational speaker. He has a church in Bahamas.
Right.
So I kept thinking, what will I buy for him that he will not forget? Because I learned that when you're meeting a high net worth person,
Give them
it's not
something.
about the quality of what you're bringing.
Yeah.
So if you are a celebrity,
Yeah.
1 million people want autograph,
Yeah.
and I come and I say, take my pen,
Yeah.
right? Ms. Diola, thank you for all you do. I don't have so much, but please take my pen.
Yeah.
If you give me your number and you give everyone your number, if I call you tomorrow and I say, this is praise, the praise that gave you a
The
pen,
pen, you remember
because
me.
a gift puts you in the special place in the heart of the recipient,
Yeah.
right? So people need to so I understood that. So when it came to National Stadium, I went to buy a talking drum, and the protocol people didn't allow me. Of course, I was a
Of
nobody.
course,
I was
yes.
you know the way they do.
Young boy.
Was packed.
They'll be blocking you.
But because I knew that because he's a foreigner, foreigners are not awed by the law people. So as he passed by, I just called him, Dr. Miles, I have something for you. So he paused and he said, oh, young man, come. What do you have for me?
Wow.
So I said, sir, I've read all your books.
Wow.
So I told him all the titles, including the books he read. There was one I even bought when I had 2 trousers.
Wow.
Right. So I gave him the talking room. So he collected my number and my email address. You know, and you know the way you all this.
He won't call me.
He sent me a mail when he got to the Bahamas, and
Wow.
that's how we got close. And
Wow.
said to me, praise, I'm going to mentor you and teach you everything I know.
Wow.
Every time he came to Nigeria, we met.
Wow.
Right? So you need to understand that rules of engagement. That not everyone is qualified for the gift of your pregnancy. It's not everyone that can mentor you.
No.
You need to understand that, because it's one thing for you to understand your power. It's another thing for you to know the person that can help you mold your power into skill and marketable. And you must not be biased, because you will see when you get close to them, they are not perfect.
Yes. And I think that's also a place where even I have found myself in a funny place, because I look at certain people and say, oh, I'd like to be mentored by this person. And then I get close to the person and I'm so disappointed.
No, you focus on what you are. You are not there to learn about their character. You are not there to learn about their life.
You know, the worst part of it, and maybe I need to also stop saying this, is that they didn't get intimidated by me.
Well,
and so I ask myself, but it's little me.
No, if they are intimidated by you, then that's another ballgame entirely. What I do, right, if I want to learn from you, is in one of the rules of power: never outshine the master. Right?
Yeah, so let's talk about that. When you say never outshine the master, what if that's just who you are? It's not like you are going out of your way to do. You're just the kind of person that will get into a place and people just naturally cling to you and like you.
It's the rules of engagement,
right?
Viola.
So
the rules of engagement in, when Nigerians want to do trainings and they go and bring it, and Americans come and take them training, the rules of engagement in America is different from Nigeria.
Yeah.
Right. So in Africa, if I'm being mentored by someone or if I'm around someone, and I am everywhere, right? Every time I hold the mic or I do something, the first thing I do is to acknowledge my mentor, to say, wow, I want to appreciate my mentor because everything I am, he taught me. So
but that's if he's taught you. What if he hasn't?
He doesn't have to teach me anything. It's one of the rules of engagement. So when you're if you check the rule of engagement with your upline, is the acronym praise. P is praise your boss, praise your upline, even when there's nothing praiseworthy.
Right.
R, readily respond respectfully to their intention. Readily respond respectfully to their intention. A is acknowledge their input and their impact, even when they have contributed nothing.
Isn't that ass kissing? Excuse my English.
In Africa, that's how it works. Here, that's how it works.
Isn't that saying, yeah, you are useless, but I love you?
This is how it works here.
Wow.
Yes, this is how it works here.
So maybe that's why it hasn't worked
It
for
doesn't
me.
work for you. So you need to learn it. It's called the rules of engagement. I learned it the hard way.
Oh God. So praise,
yeah,
readily respond
respectfully to their intention,
respectfully, right?
acknowledge their input and impact. That's A. Even when there is none.
Input
And impact.
Oh my goodness. So I just keep saying once again, sir.
Yeah.
Once again, sir, you have said something so fantastic.
Yes.
And once again, there's nothing I can do without you.
Yes.
Sir.
Yeah.
You are the reason of my existence. In fact, because of you, I am.
Yes.
You are Ubuntu.
That's how it works. That's how it works.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Now I know why it doesn't work for me.
It's called territorial principle. Territorial principle says that in your domain you are king.
Wow.
In another person's domain you are a subject.
Wow.
So you are bound by the rules in there, right?
Wow.
Let me tell you, a lot of
today is mind blowing for me. I'm
sound-minded people with huge potential are frustrated in Africa because of lack of not understanding.
So it's just an African thing.
It's an African thing.
Okay, all right.
So you need to in fact,
okay.
I had to write a book on it. It's on Amazon. I didn't just publish it in Africa. It's on Amazon. Eyes of work, right? So A is acknowledging the employee, but then I is interview them. So you need to go and interview. So you, for example, if when I used to work in employment, I knew my appraiser before I got to HR.
Right.
Because I want to meet my man. He was a terrible man. I said, sir, where you are is where I want to be later in life. Can I be coming to you every week so that you can appraise me and tell me where I need to improve on? Ooh. So I was going every week. Well, after about 3 months, he said, praise, you are now like me.
You are, in fact, you are perfect.
So when it comes to appraise, you just give me, he said, praise, appraise yourself. And he will look at others and say, oh, no, you are my child. That's how it works in there, right? So interview them. Then
that's why I probably have left all the jobs that I've left.
S is solve their problem with speed and smile.
Right.
Solve their problem with speed.
That I like.
With speed and smile. And E, exceed their expectation.
With speed and smile.
Exceed their expectation. That's E. This is how these things work.
Wow.
If you follow this one, trust me, you will survive in any industry, anywhere in Nigeria because you understand the rules.
This is a lot for me. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah.
This is a lot for me. Coming from, I always say to people that the only Yoruba thing is
I miss you. We miss
you too. The only Yoruba thing about me is my name.
Uh-huh.
That's what I keep saying. Because when you hear Adiola, like, Omo Yoruba. And I'm like, yes, I might be a Yoruba girl.
Someone is asking for the name of the book. It's called The 8 Lines of Word.
We have to look for that book.
On Amazon. It's on Amazon.
We have to look for that book. Praise. You have to.
Let me tell you the history. Let me tell you the history of this thing. My wife was working in the bank, and Tosin is a British in a Nigerian skin.
Yeah. One day she said to me, "I'm Nigeria. I'm not meant for Nigeria."
Yeah, that's Tosin. So Tosin is the kind of Tosin goes to work, and the boss is touching people, and she's saying, "This is wrong." In the workplace.
Use your mouth, nigger. Sorry, I take nigger back.
Tosin will look at the boss doing the wrong thing and say, no, you don't do it that way.
Yes.
So they were marking her down consistently. They will not promote her. They will not. So she will come home. She will cry and cry. So I sat her down. I say, see, babe, I have been through Nigeria's paid employment.
Why didn't I meet you?
So
why did I meet you 8 years ago?
I began to teach Tosin these things, right? And my wife started getting promoted. I just said, so just follow what I'm teaching you.
So praise them. I just come. Good morning, ma. You look so beautiful today.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That scarf, that red,
yes.
it resonates with your
so
with
that
your,
is what you must
undertone.
do. But there's what you must not do. And that one is called roast.
Roast. See, guys, I'm in my book today. Like, I came to learn. I'm writing. Me too, I'm learning today.
It's called roast.
Roast.
Don't roast them. Don't because
yeah,
getting close is
Tell us roast.
Roast is don't reveal their weakness.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you practicalize that?
Because
so they've done something wrong.
Yeah, there are things you will see while you are close to them that you must not
say to other people.
To other people, because it's a simple principle that says, do not speak ill of the king even in your bedroom, because the birds of the air can hear it.
Yeah,
So you need to understand that don't reveal their
loyalty
is very
key.
Is very key. So it's important. In fact, what I'm going to do is, I hope we can have time to break this down, because let me not even let's even focus on
this.
Because
guys, I mean, we're going to start asking people to come and
people. I mean, I see a lot of people with power. If you are blessed, what I tell people in the workplace in Africa is this: if you are prepared for the worst, then if you meet the best, you are grateful. Because ideally, the default is the worst.
But when you prepare for the worst, is that not then working against what you believe in? So, and I'll explain I'll explain what I'm trying to say. So I sit down and say, okay, this place I'm going to, the worst that can happen to me is that they will not answer me. However, and then I now stay in the worst. Isn't that then negating me saying, when I get there, everything is going to work so smoothly for me? I will find everything with ease, and I will get, like that.
That's fine. Positive, but when you now get there and you now meet, it's like when people
meet contrast.
When get married, and I'm sitting with them in a session and I'm asking, so what happens to you
wrong?
If what happens to you if this people won't get married, and I'm asking, what if your spouse cheats on you, and they say, over my dead, it will not happen to me in Jesus' name? No,
like what, Jesus?
Prepare for it. What?
But how do you prepare for that?
You can prepare.
I didn't.
It's simulation. You need to simulate it to say, what if I meet it's like you don't learn to swim when you're drowning.
Yeah.
To say how it's like preparing. Yeah. So if I meet a bad boss, there is a rule managing a bad boss.
Right.
It's the same rule of managing a bad spouse.
Right.
So you need to find out how this thing, because every human being has got a mumu button.
Yes.
Right. Once you can, that's why you see some.
Pressing it.
That's why you see some people.
How did you stay with that person for so long?
Can't you see some people praising the president of Nigeria?
I'm sure there's some people who would have praised Adolf Hitler.
Yeah.
And all the bad people.
Adolf Hitler won Man of the Year.
Exactly.
Award.
For somebody who was such, there'll be at least some people that will say this man.
You need to understand, it's a rule of change. People don't, there are so many rules in life.
Woo!
Now, in the rules of change, so a lot of people.
Today I said I wanted to learn.
A lot of people want
I'm learning.
A lot of people want to get power from the bad people in Nigeria. They say, oh, they're bad. So they go and form good people's party. It doesn't work. You first need to engage the bad, right? That's level one.
Understand it.
You need to serve the bad.
Right.
The bad must use you. Then you must become the ambassador of the bad.
Right.
Then the bad will now hand over power to you. Then the
real
you will now be
revealed
because you now have absolute power. It works.
Please, can you? I need to come to you for some coaching.
So people don't understand this thing,
and I'm saying it publicly
because
you say tell people that you're going to coach me.
I'm going to coach you for a fee.
I'm not paying, and this one is for free.
People don't understand, and that's how people. I've made that mistakes before. People walk away out of arrogance. I will not.
I'll tell you. If you're not,
we want to eat meat. We will not call cow.
Dog. Yes.
You will miss out. This is Africa. This is Africa. You need to understand how these things work. It's the rules of engagement. Every land has got rules. It's called the landline. You need to understand the landline, because if you don't understand the landline, you are just going to run foul of the law. And because when you work in a system where you have lived in UK where nobody's above the law. You now come to Africa where there are human beings who are the law.
You know,
They are not above the law. Their emotions determine the law.
I'm like, I used to have this boss. I say to him, do you wake up every morning and ask yourself, who am I going to frustrate today?
Nah.
And he laughed so hard when I said it. I said, because you actually, like, when I see your call on my phone, I panic. And one day he said to me, Adiola, and that's how he used to call me, Adiola, I am paying you. And even if I am saying nonsense, I am paying you to listen to my nonsense. The time where I was done, I said to him, you're not paying me enough, sir.
Okay, our time is up today.
So.
Our time is up today. So, but you see, what people must take home is this. Now, when you do all these things, right, you must have a support system so that you don't forget yourself and become something else. Because you can be molded into something else. So
say that
it's
again,
called
please.
contact without contamination.
Right.
Right. As you do this, remember that is a rule of engagement. Is not your life. Right? It's a rule of engagement.
So it's something you have to become.
You are acting, actually.
You are acting.
Yes.
So you become
so it's a rule.
character.
You are a character. You are a character at that point.
So it doesn't need to determine who.
That's not who you are.
Okay.
That's not who you are.
Okay.
So it's a rule of engagement in there.
Right.
And once you do that, then you know when to revert back.
Right.
So you need to step out of character
and go back to who
that's
you
why
truly
you
are.
now need what we now call the support system, so that you are feeding them back. So you are representing a group, kind of. That's how these things work. And a lot of people don't understand. So if you follow this, it would work for you, because there is a tendency that most of the time when we say go and get mentored, the person you're likely going to get is going to be someone like this.
Yeah.
Because
I think a lot of bosses are like
typical
that.
African leader struggle with low self-esteem, has insecurity issue, power defines them. You need so that you don't get out and be frustrated. A lot of people get out of seminars. Oh God, they are not frustrated because what they are meeting is not. So
and some people, you look at them like, oh, I want to really, and then you and you go and work with the person, and you're like, so you've been fooling us all this while.
Oh yeah, no. So this is how it works. So when you do this, then you know that okay, you have now understood people, and because everyone has got, it's like every man is a door, but it's not every key that opens the door. You need to find the key that opens this door, right, and deploy that key. Right. Because if you like fast, it's not going to open. Pray is not going to open. You need to find the key. A lot of people are not stepping aside to find the key that opens the door. Yeah, they want to open the door, and that's why the door consistently gets locked against them. So this is how these things work, guys. Unfortunately, we run out of time again. Yeah. We will continue.
So, guys, we're going to stop. What was someone saying?
My 18-year-old has been jotting down, writing down great points from this session as well. Whoa,
it's amazing, guys.
So wise. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll continue next week. So
let's just round this up. So this week we were meant to end this whole process today.
That's what we
but we've said also that we're going to be organic and we're going to allow things just happen naturally. And the more we talk, the more we expand things, and the more it just kind of makes sense. I mean, like today, I'm like a student today. And you are my teacher today, and I receive everything that I've learned, and I'm going to see you in the four corners of later, to get a few more tricks. But
now imagine if you knew this.
It would have been different. But I realized this week I spoke to somebody who used to be a boss of mine, and I used so many words that just made her, that resonated with her, and she just kept on saying, oh, shame, my dear. Just really, and as I kept on going, my sister was looking at me thinking, okay, who are you psyching? But I just kept on saying, look, I'm proud of you, where you're going, what you're doing. My goodness, I want to be like you one day, and maybe even better, you know? And I was like, the places that you have been to, I mean, it's mind-blowing. And I just kept on talking, and it's not like I really didn't mean it. I did mean it, but maybe not in the bigness of it, but under me, I really didn't mean it, and I was excited for her.
People are in pain.
Ooh.
At whatever level they are. Africa is tough.
Yeah.
So if you can praise your boss,
yeah.
I mean, it's so easy for everyone to say, "Oh, he's a bad boss."
Yeah.
But when they
There's
find
some good
someone who
sides.
says to them, "You are a good person,"
Yeah.
it makes a world of difference. They hold on to that person tightly.
And so there's a thing that I learned in speaking to people, and we're going to round off with this, and it's called confrontation rather than
Confrontation, yeah.
And so you come to the person, the first three things you say to the person is what you love, what
Yeah.
you like,
Yeah.
and what you respect
Yeah.
or admire.
Yeah.
And then you tell the person the end of that conversation from the beginning.
Yeah.
That at the end of this conversation, what I want is that we end up being closer than we
Oh
started
yeah,
off.
that's an
And
hybrid
so,
of.
so
Yeah.
you send that signal, and then you then go to what you know about yourself.
Mm.
So it's not even about the person.
Yeah.
So what I know about myself, or what I've learned about myself, is that I don't really, when people talk to me a particular way, I shudder,
Yeah.
and that's because of XYZ. And then you then go and say, but I've got some requests to make, and these are my requests.
Yeah.
Are these things that you can do? If yes, fantastic. If no, then give me a counter offer, right? And what would your counter offer be? Let's work, let's agree.
Yeah.
And then what, just out of curiosity, what will make my no become a yes? What do I need to do to make my no become a yes? And that thing is mind blowing.
Oh, yeah.
Because what is happening is that I'm now not saying you are the cause of my pain or you're doing anything to me. I'm saying to you that I've studied myself enough to know that these things hurt me. And so I'm telling you how I feel, not that what you do or what I make your actions mean, right? And then in that moment, you can say, no, but this was not what I meant. This was, and we have a good conversation. And I'm not talking at you in any way. So we leave that conversation actually tighter. And you just find the person say, yeah, okay, that's fine. I can work on them.
Yeah.
So that's
it's a right
share that
you're
with
son.
people. Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Continue from leveraging people and resources next
thank
week.
you. We still have a whole
And
lot.
we'll talk about roast. We'll talk about roast. Today we talked about praise. We're going to talk about roast next week. Don't miss it. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We love you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Oh, whoa. Okay, so we end the show, and that's now.
Wow. Walai, I've